What's up, and welcome back, fellow Siege spectators and players. Tech issues solved as the Whiskey Boys are back for a little bit more of that LCQ. I am still the Reverend Whiskey Glitter, and with me, as always, my partner and co host, Mr. Whiskey Run.
That's right. Welcome back, everyone, to the Sixth Invitational Last Chance qualifier. And this time, it's actually another grudge match on this channel. On the Siege Double Shot, during the Element 4 Open qualifiers, we got to see these two teams do battle. Friendship Team versus Outlast. And the thing about it wasn't Outlast at the time. This is the XTSG Gold roster. They were in the first and second place. We saw it as part of the seeding match in a best of three. Outlast won that battle versus Friendship Team. So rematch time between these two, and this time it's a best of one. And since that point, Friendship Team has been significantly better overall, I think, than this Outlast team. They're making it through Outlast out of E4, not in the playoffs. So this is redemption time for this Outlast team, and I'm looking forward to it, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's take a quick look at the teams, right? Couple of names you know and love. And by a couple, I mean just about every single one on here, beloved to the T3, T2 community. Wi-Fi, Silent, Eddie, Kicks, and Nick. And on the Outlast side with that new logo, Zonky, Rai Rai, Dami, Vipoa, and Hectic. So should be an absolute banger, a best of one, a sprint to the end, a brawl for it all here in the LCQ. And honestly, can't call it. Let's find out where we're going.
That's right. In that best of three, we saw Border, Cafe, and Sky, with the Outlast taking Border and Sky both in 7-5. Cafe 7-1 victory to the Friendship Team. So, what do we banned out? Border, Cafe, Sky, all banned. We're going to go to a new one for battle here for this last game, NIGHTHAVEN, between these two.
Let's freaking go. You all know how much I love NIGHTHAVEN, and for a grudge match, you just can't beat it. The well put together attack team going to do well on NIGHTHAVEN Labs, right? It's spread out. The roamers are prevalent, sussing them out. The flank is huge, and we have seen it every single time that we have watched NIGHTHAVEN in the last few competitive games, where the flank has just been so incredibly impactful. And so have been seeing ban-wise Monty Dokkaebi as a pretty strong option, although I wouldn't doubt we see the Blackbeard taken down it.
Yeah, you said it. Blackbeard, I think, is going to be a great option, but Monty to start off with, again, not surprised. But as the teams get better and better about managing and dealing with Blackbeard, he's going to get banned out more often. But it is NIGHTHAVEN. There's a lot of great options here for attackers that you could throw in a little bit of a wrench. Which way is it going to go? Dokkaebi, the roam clear this time.
Yeah, it almost has to be, right? It's such a huge map, right? And because that flank is so prevalent, because that roam game is so good, Vigil, Scopos, Cav, those are all operators that bring some incredible impact to the table. And if you have a Dokkaebi, easier to suss them out. So instead, going to have to rely on that Jackal, on the Lion, and try to suss out where those roamers are going to be at. Two-Brow going to be the next to fall, Whiskey.
Yeah, that's definitely an interesting one. We've seen Two-Brow banned out on NIGHTHAVEN, but definitely not as the standard. So many good and important openings on the outside walls that I think Two-Brow definitely helps out. But we talked about Azami and Valkyrie being the 90% operators. This time it's going to be Azami again. We're rarely going to get to see her in competitive play, it seems, my friend.
I know, it sucks. We're going to have another nerf to Azami before she can be competitive again and not just incredibly banned off the board. Just being able to destroy the Kivas, not quite enough for the amount of static warfare that she can bring to the table. Take it up, or actually take it down. Tank and Assembly to start us out.
That's right. Tank and Assembly. Here we go, my friend.
That's right. So, Tank and Assembly, what do we love about it? It's kind of turning into that primary site because 2F is getting to be in that, not solved, right? 2F is still can be a variety for a take, but it's starting to get a little bit easier. You know some of those critical push points that you have to have. So take it down to Tank Assembly to start us out is going to force you into a couple of situations, right? Force you to open up that double and single down below and then play the vertical game to try and open it up. So a lot of probably investment is going to happen to that. And you can already see it as Valkyrie getting some cams upstairs, Rai putting some of those Fenrir traps, and Warden up onto the first floor as well. Now, it did bring out that C4 instead of the deployable. I think it's a good call here, especially when vertical is just going to be so incredibly prevalent. You can see it on the other side, Ram on the board as well. Um, man, this is going to be a good first round and kind of the test who's going to come out on top.
Yeah, that's right. Huge test between these two. We said it. Blackbeard was likely going to be banned out, but he didn't. That means he's going to be played here. Eddie going to be the first one bringing out the Blackbeard, looking for ways to get this set up. But the other important one, Maverick, right? We knew that Maverick, Clubhouse and Nighthaven got a lot of similarities. Maverick, a lot of utility on both of those maps, and he's already down here opening up with maybe a little bit of intel. Who's in the corner? Nobody right now.
Trying to catch somebody rotating back to site, but not going to be the case. As we do have still a couple people up top. The big one, Valkyrie, rotated all the way up to 2F with Rai onto the Fenrir. So really going to make you have to suss out every single room before you can start putting that pressure onto the verticality inside the garage, because if you don't, it's just a quick slip up onto the catwalk and you are done, Dotted. Goodbye, sayonara, see you later. They're already going to try to put some pressure onto the Valk. As you can see, that Deimos ping giving away exactly where she's located, so they know for sure one up top. I don't know if they have this Fenrir sussed out.
Well, and it's interesting, right? You had everybody set up in the kitchen, right, for a kitchen take, which it almost seems like right now they're catching this Outlast defense off guard because they're definitely set up over on the other side of the map to protect the vertical. But you have, look at this, control downstairs in EXO, and you've already had Blackbeard make the push up in.
Yeah, and so they're gonna be watching for that rotate towards the backside, and look, there it is, a little bit of pressure being put on. So Blackbeard still gonna be able to remain a force to be reckoned with over on that EXO door, and that's gonna be the first kill. The Pole's gonna take down Wi-Fi, gets traded back immediately as Nick finds Zonky on the body shots. Blackbeard still starting to make his way in, but a little bit of damage is gonna force him back to tail between his legs as the smoke starts to come out.
Yeah, I think definitely dangerous here. Now we're seeing this friendship team work on trying to clear out some of the defenders upstairs, so that way they don't have nearly as much on. He's going to say vertical coverage, but wow, a triple to fall there as Outlast takes a 4-1 body count lead.
That's right, and so a shotgun in the hands of Dominus. They're going to start to make that push up. A little bit of pressure. He does take some damage. Hectic really being on that low HP scenario, but it's only 7 seconds left, so the defense is going to go ahead and find their first win off the back of a little bit of some slow play.
Operators, you have run out of time.
Okay. Shutting down the initial push downstairs in the basement, even though it was interesting to see Friendship Team take on sort of that kitchen side take down into EXO, as opposed to more of the direct route, using the Maverick as sort of a distraction, a little bit of ghost pressure downstairs, and sort of catching Outlast off guard a little bit until it completely fell apart, right? And that triple, 3 kills in a row, making all the difference in the all in the world there. Friendship Team as Outlast takes their first.
Okay, defense takes it. They're going to head up to the second floor, the accepted secondary, and they're going to bring out the Mira. No surprises there, right? Great for holding on to that catwalk. Great for putting that pressure when they make it into that connector area. K to slow them down just a bit, and there it is. Yet again, it's that Mira onto the main breach. It has proved to be very difficult to deal with. I like the setup run, not going to lie to you. Also, pulling out the Legion in the Frost course, slowing down. You know there's going to be some aggression. We are going to see on the other side of it, they're going to bring the Deimos again.
Yeah, and I mean, I think having Deimos as one of the operators coming out here, great call from the attacking team. He's been so good, both in amateur siege and in professional. He's made such a difference. But again, it's sort of like the Blackbeard, right? It took a long time for early teams to find out what was going to be the right way, the right method in order to use him, and the teams have gotten very good. Deimos is a dangerous operator now.
Yeah, 100%. Even though he gives away his own location, he can find some kills, and that pistol is absolutely devastating. So, on the side of the attack, they do bring out that double breach. It's something that has been the accepted strat, right? You got to open up everything. The open sesame strat, if you will, Risky, right? Open up the IT wall, open up into connector, put some pressure on from river, get some pressure on the catwalk, and just keep condensing these defenders into a tighter and tighter circle until you're able to just start picking them off. That is going to be the first Twitch drone taken down as the pressure from catwalk going to mount even higher.
That was huge. It looked like the Twitch drone was going to be in a position to try and take out one of these, take out some of that utility. They've got to get rid of that mirror window, but that was it. That was the piece they needed. They had to drop the Fenrir at top, leaving Mira all alone. You can hear that first thermite charge going off, taking out, that was the opening into connector now.
Yeah, now able to, that's the first part, right? It was we're checking these Yali boxes. You got one opened up, but it took a minute and a half to get there. So a little bit of a tough situation. Rai does find his life forfeit to Wi-Fi as he now puts us into a 5v3 situation. Just under a minute and 20 left to go here in round number 2. So the pressure going to start to mount, especially since Legion going to find himself in a tough position. Does get up, now looking for potentially the wall bang. He is going to
there it is.
Good night, sleep tight. Legion's going to be down in the kitchen.
Finishing him off there at the end, leaving just Amira and the Frost, the only two left available, and tons of opening, tons of sight lines here for this team, and they are bullying right now, Outlast.
Yeah, no kidding. One for the highlight reel there. It's a flawless round for the attack as they do it quite spectacularly.
So we saw Friendship Team take down, they 7-1 this team again, and Outlast was back playing as TSG Gold in those qualifiers. 7-1 victory on Cafe for Friendship Team. So when they were good, they were great. Even though they lost that best of 3, they can and do put a lot of pressure here on this team. So right now, NIGHTHAVEN 1-1 to start off, a little bit balanced, but that last round very good there from Friendship Team.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Real freaking good. Okay, so let's see. What are they going to do for round number 3? We're going to take it to the Terse site. They're not going to make the ego check back up to the 2F location. And they went to arguably the better one, right? Control storage, definitely, at least to us, seems like it is more in line with being able to hold on to that verticality, being able to facilitate in the flank potentially coming up from the basement. Are we going to see somebody head down there? Well, we already did. Valk's already down and ready to eat a C4 up and into that bomb side.
10 seconds to insertion.
Yeah, I love that style of play where you've got the vertical. NIGHTHAVEN, so important to have all of the vertical in place. And the teams that are good at it are great, to the point that sometimes we see those basement sites not even, the attackers not even bothering opening up the walls, right? Just go ahead and direct take from a vertical perspective, and love seeing that between these teams. This time, again, going for a direct push here, opening up that outside wall, and right now, everybody's still outside. Very spread out though from the Outlast team, so Friendship Team did a good job of taking advantage of a hole in the Outlast defense on round 1. They just couldn't close it out. See if it happens again on round 3.
Well, almost gets a swing there from that up near with Zonky trying to put the pressure onto that outside play, but just gets onto the roof right before that engagement can start. Now down in the basement, Valkyrie, she's got the intel. She can hear it. She knows there's something. So like a predator, she's going to start stalking these guys. But unfortunate for her, that predator going to get revealed by a Deimos, and now the pressure is the 2v1 downstairs is going to start to take off. Need a little bit of luck, and they're not going to find it as Silent is able to take Hectic off the board, and that's going to be Valk relegated to the cam.
No
and a C4 gone. Zoinks. Zonky. Zonky able to find the return kill off the back of some vector play. Give him a second as he's able to take down both Silent and Nick and put the body balance into the hands of Outlast here with a minute and 33 left. Zoinks, where did that even come from?
It was a funny slip, but right now, 3v4, Outlast looking good. They've held on, won those couple engagements, and Friendship Team losing the battle
Attackers
upstairs. So
recovered the
now
diffuser.
stuck in basically those outside positions, having to re-rotate, and with no real vertical control to speak of. Even though, you know, pushing down in the basement, nobody downstairs in the basement from the defense anymore, but they really don't need to. They've sort of taken care of that and are continuing to hold from a 2F side. Right now, it seems like Friendship Team stalling out a bit.
Yeah, that was a tough one, right? You find the opening engagement and then immediately get traded back for a two-piece. That's a tough one. Couple of shots towards the mirror, but not going to amount to anything outside of a few little shots, right? A little bit of HP loss there, but Vaboa going to be the next to find a kill as the headshot onto Kicks gets taken off, puts us into a 4v2. A little bit of a tough climb back here for the attack. So starting to push down the stairs, and that's the problem, right? Is they put so much pressure on it that you have to go deal with Zonky, and he's gonna say,
A
"Give me
triple.
a triple." Can't be dealt with. So, I mean, what do you even do with Zonky's float, right? It's a 1v3. Rai gonna end it.
All right, I mean, Nighthaven, talk about side statistics, talk about which team is better, what's the better side for this map. And really, Nighthaven's one that we've seen go both ways. Teams that are very good, and looks like, oh, we're going to have a pause there? Pause?
Pause,
Yes.
pause.
Pause indeed. We're going to catch a pause. Because it looks like one of the Outlast players may be having a bit of an issue, but I was going to say, when we're talking about the sides, statistics, what this map, how's it play out, it definitely goes both ways. Teams that are very good on attack make Nighthaven look like it's an attacker-sided map. Teams that struggle on attack or, you know, more evenly sided matches typically will go on the defensive side. So between these, not sure, like we said, didn't get a chance to see in between them which one it was going to be. Well, looks like we're going to have to
Okay.
take a little bit of an extended pause, my friend.
Yeah, one of those lovely breaks where we send it to a screen with a little bit of music.
That's right.
Okay. Well, folks, you know the drill. It wouldn't be live siege without a few of those live siege issues. So we're gonna get the lobby set back up. At least get the last player in. So sit back, relax, because when we come back, we're gonna bring you the stunning conclusion to this second map. Ayo.
Let's go.
What's up, and welcome back, fellow Siege spectators and players. We're back. They did it. We're in, and it's time for the second bit of the first half of the second map. Jesus.
You got there. We made it. It's working.
Okay, so what do we do here? The first two go to the defense. Friendship teams find theirself one on the attack side. One more. Feel pretty secure going into their defensive half. So defense going to adapt a little bit. We're going to see the castle come on board here. I think it's the right call. It's part of that extension, right? You're going to look to see them up onto that first floor, maybe even open up that hatch. Oh, nope, they closed them both off. So it's really going to be the dedication to holding on to the verticality here. No chance to get back down to site outside of taking those stairwells. So the addition of the cap can and the castle, I think this is a pretty good defensive setup here, Whiskey.
Yeah, that's right. And yeah, they have two of the hatches closed off. One of them left open on the one set of stairs that Hectic was playing on the smoke right up there on cargo. That's the one making a little bit of rotate here, watching, holding in this area. I think it's questionable leaving the hatch open because it gives this team a little bit of vertical control over top of Hectic if he makes the rotate down, but right now at least that can give him the option to get a quick rotate out if he gets some pressure from those cargo stairs directly.
Yeah, absolutely. So a little bit of damage done. Rai taken off the board. That's going to be the Fenrir sent. Which now does take the main advantage to sit in the hands of Friendship team. They did it in the first minute of gameplay, so plenty of time for them to suss out where these cap can traps are at, get that verticality set up, and then start to put some pressure on that basement floor.
I'm just gonna say right now we had a lot of control here vertically for this Friendship team. They're working. They've got 2F nobody from this from the Outlast team playing upstairs to try and avoid any of that. So Nick's able to take that complete control upstairs, but it is a basement site, so even gaining a little bit of 2F, just slowing them down, but still a minute 20, plenty of time left for the attackers to work on get something ready here.
Yeah, that's right. And they do have some first floor presence, right? They're sitting on both of those stairs, both in XO and on the back towards those vending, or towards the cargo stairs. So still can put that pressure up. And as I say it, you can see that he's starting to push up to make that push towards the XO stairs. And they are going to get a little bit of a trade here. Wi-Fi takes down Tommy. Zonky takes Nick off the board, but the damage has been done. Zonky's now at a low HP as it's just going to push up into the smoke. 4v1. Eddie takes Zonky down. Is going to find one looking for a second, but not gonna happen. Give Kicks a triple on the right, I think. Is that a triple? There was.
Man, I mean, there was a couple missed engagements there. Obviously, you're gonna go back and look at the way that one played out, and everybody had a little bit of a peak. Unfortunately, not right. If you're an Outlast fan, didn't go in your way. Friendship team missed one or two that could have ended it off a little bit earlier, but we go 2-2 to start this thing off, back and forth with a rotate back up to the 2F. This one, Friendship team won back on round 2 as a flawless round. So hopefully Outlast has got the adaptations that they need to try and shut this vertical down.
Woo! Okay, so tie us up 2-2. Now we're going to take it up to the second floor and going to bring out the breach denial, right? Big, important part of holding on to 2F is if you're on the attack, you got to open everything up. If you're on the defense, you got to keep it closed. So a lot of times we have seen that double dedication to it, right? The Cade and the Bandit being brought. In this case, it's going to be the Bandit and the Mute to try to keep some of these closed off. And the Mirror, of course, because sitting on that IT wall as well. So they are going to do their best to keep it closed. They doubled up on the hard breach, though. I'm thinking everything's going to get it.
Yeah, that's one thing that we've seen Friendship team do very well, very quickly, was open up all of those breaches. Last time they had the connector wall open and worked on getting the IT wall as well. This time though, no Mav to come in and try and back that up. So they're going to work on using the Twitch, and yeah, that's really the main piece of crowd control that they're going to need, or utility control that they're going to need to try and clear off some of those breach denials. So it's a good chance that Outlast might keep some of these shut this time.
think you might be right, because just in the way that you said it, right? You're like, the Twitch, and there was nothing. There was no follow-up. There was no backup. It's just the Twitch. It's just tough.
Yeah, I mean, Graham and Kixrow has got the impact EMPs, but impact EMPs have typically been, have struggled to have the same effectiveness that the Thatchers have, or that the Twitch drones do generally. So Silence working it, trying to clear out some of this, but this downstairs, this is working the first floor piece of this to start.
Okay, so a little bit of damage done to Wi-Fi. He's reduced to a low HP, but everybody remains alive within the first minute and 20 or so. Looking to put some pressure towards that catwalk. Do have Frost on the board. They've done a great job of keeping this Mira closed. Now, that's going to be the impact EMPs. They're waiting for it to try to open up.
Oh.
So they can try to impact trick, maybe. There's no impacts on the board.
No,
so
they got it.
Have to do it. Did they get it?
Yeah, I was surprised, right? There was a ton of utility in place for the defensive team holding down IT. The combination of the bandit batteries, the mirror window, the deployable, the bulletproof cam, right? All of that was in play, but still, this friendship team managed to get that open, and you can hear those H charges off again. They've got the angles opened up right now that they need. So Outlast has got 54 seconds to survive what could be very dangerous execute here from friendship team.
Okay, there's going to be the first. Eddie gets taken down in this back and forth as Rai is able to find his dome piece. A little MP7 action gives the body bounce tip to Outlast here for the last 37, and they've got a shotgun on the door ready to make the swing from the surface area, and there it is. Deimos getting active from below. Oh, almost found one on accident as they start to push it in. A grenade does ring out, trying to force him out of that position. It does expose him to the window, but he has not got any pressure being put onto it. A sneak up is going to make the Vector take kicks off the board. Silent ends take Hectic as the switch comes. Domi to take Wi-Fi down. Now into a 4v2, but still got to contend with this mirror on the back end, and it's 9 seconds left in which to do so. The swing, they're going to find it, and they're going to call it easy.
Wow, what a back and forth between these two teams. That's Outlast taking 3, but it has been every other round at this point. And you talked about it, size statistics be damned. It's right now, I'm not sure that we could pick one of these two teams that is playing significantly better than the other. Both match. There's a reason that they were fighting it out in Element 4 at the top of the T2 realm, is because they belong there.
Right. Because they belong there. So one round before the half is over and done. And looking to see the defense put themselves on a bit of that standard split, right? Nothing particularly spectacular coming out of Friendship Team outside of they did get themselves 2 rounds, right? They hit the quota already. So now the test on the Tersh here for this defense. If Friendship Team comes up with another win here, I'm feeling pretty good about them taking it in the back half of the map.
That's right. Watching, again, the 1F control, a lot of upstairs setup, very similar to the way you'd see the 2F setup if they were running that same bomb site. A lot of focus here on the IT side generally. So running the combination of the mute chamber to try and prevent any of the Twitch drones from making the push in. Rai and the Warden maybe holding part of this upstairs site, but along with the double mirror setup on the control side, covering the IT and the warehouse pushing.
Not a bad play here. Only 3. There we go. Okay, 3 people up top to hold that verticality. Would have liked to see a castle being brought out here to help facilitate that hold, but not, of course, incredibly necessary. On the side of the attack, they only brought 1. They're going to open up that garage double, start to put some pressure on that catwalk player. But I think the fun one here that we're seeing is the Brava, and they're getting in and they're taking everything. Fenrir's, Valkyrie cams, bulletproofs, just allowed free roam to try to take all of this gadget util.
Oh, look at that. Dodging the mute jammer enough to walk in and just, where is all of this utility? Searching. There's a lot of times you're playing the Brava and can't find anything. Right now, Friendship Team and Wi-Fi covering a lot of that utility and being able to use it right now. Outlast, I don't think, realizes that they've lost some pieces.
Yeah, I don't think so either. So going back downstairs, Hectic can put some pressure on the face from the area. Wi-Fi gets a kill. Eddie's gonna
Wow,
find one
they're
as
already
well.
in.
Yeah, no kidding. In and planting, my friends, and that's the danger of it, right? That's the danger of having everybody off site. Is if you take care of a little bit of that damage, you can get in and find yourself in a post-plant scenario, and that's exactly what happened. The double does equalize onto the numbers here. As they got to put pressure onto the window. Somebody's got to be able to run out and find it. They've got the downstairs, the verticality covered from down below also, with Deimos on the board. 25 left, count it down. Got to have 7 seconds to get it done, and they're going to find one. Nick takes Dami off the board, which means that vertical is going to hold. Nick kicks to find one, Silent to find the next. The attackers are going to find that round and put them in a really good position on their defensive half.
100% back and forth for this team, and oh no, another player out.
No.
Gonna have another tech pause there. Unfortunately, struggling with some FPS bugs right now, it seems. But like we said, a complete back and forth between these teams, even after that original tech pause that we had to take, answering back. And from a stat perspective, right? Both of these teams fairly evenly matched. Everybody contributing. This is definitely not a one-sided game. It's certainly what you'd expect out of two teams playing as part of Element 4.
Yep. Absolutely. Okay, so you know the drill. You know the deal. We're going to try it again. A quick bit of getting them back in. So sit back, relax, because when we come back, we're going to have a new lobby. Ayo.
Let's go.
What's up, and welcome back, fellow Siege spectators and players. We did it, rehosted 3-3 on the tie-up, headed into the back end, the half. We're going to see Friendship Team going on to their defensive side and see if Outlast can bring that same energy to their attack half. Already, we talked about it, Whiskey, in the last one. One of the things that's so important, and when you're playing that 2F site, that second floor is to hold on to the walls. And sometimes we see the double up on the breach now. Well, this is one of those times. They're going to bring out both the Cade and the Bandit here.
It's one of the things that Friendship Team did really well when they were playing on their attacking half, was getting everything open for sight lines. And I think that was part of the thing that helped them manage the attacking side of this map so well. So I think they're expecting it, know how important that piece of it is. They're going to hold on, like you said, to the walls for dear life this time with the double up. So they've got that IIT wall blocked, and they're going to have those mirror windows at one of them holding on to that warehouse.
Attacker's objective is to defuse a bomb.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Oh, it's gonna be on the IT wall for the second.
There it is. It's just such a good strat, and there is no impacts to like do like the impact tricking like we've seen done, like you see do on Clubhouse or anything. But it's definitely still makes it difficult to get that breach open. They did bring along the Thatcher this time, which I think is, of course, the right call. You know what has been surprisingly not present as well is the Maverick, Whiskey.
The Maverick, yeah, I mean, we talked about the similarities between between Clubhouse and Nighthaven so often, but what a shot from that nade, bouncing off the door. Holy cow, the close calls that we've seen already in this round, knocking out the hard breach, that nade bouncing off the wall, so close to Bandit. He takes a shot, misses one. Everybody's still alive from that engagement, though.
Oh, no. Starting to lose some Whiskey Run Mike as well. So they do take Vipoa off the board, does put us into a 5v4 situation, and a huge pick to take down the Blackbeard, right? He is that spearhead, especially in the age of the shield. He's really taken on that role. So they do get part of the wall opened up here and start put some pressure on the catwalk area. They are down a man, so it's going to be a little bit difficult, and they still have to find a way to deal with those mirrors. They do have some Selma charges they can get in there and get active with, but the time's starting to tick down. Hectic taken off the board does turn it into a 5v3 scenario with a minute and 19 seconds left on the board. So the potential to still open it up, yes. The 2 operators you need to do that, yes, check. But you're down in the body balance and you're starting to run down in the time. So that mountain gets a little bit tougher to climb. Valkyrie going to be relegated to her own cams here for the last 60 seconds.
Last 60 seconds, man. Who is it going to be right now with 3 left alive? You still have got the Thatcher Thermite combo. They've got this main IT wall open, making the push in, but I don't think they were able to deal with the mirror window. Kixrow still there holding on, and look at that, the Vector ringing out a double from him, leaving just the Thatcher and the Ace left alive, playing an electrical. This is going to be a tough claw back for this pair against a 4 stack on the Friendship Team side.
Absolutely. And only 26 seconds in which to do it. So Thatcher sends an EMP at a little bit of a distraction. Will it be enough? They've got the pings. They're making the call. He takes a swing onto the mirror, but nobody there to answer back. Just a bold play, and he still tries to get one. Goes for the corner shot, but not going to happen. Eddie and Wi-Fi both going to find those last kills.
Friendship Team looking good there as we close out round 7. It's the first time we've seen one of these 2 teams win 2 in a row in this case. Friendship Team winning 6 and 7. So the back and forth cut short here, but that was the opportunity for Outlast on the attack. Try and make something happen. They're going to have to find how it's going to go downstairs in the basement, though. And love to see what kind of a strat these guys are going to set up. Is it going to be the vertical take, or is it going to be more direct from an attacking perspective? This lineup, though, on defense, right? The combination of the Ella and the Mozzie, it's sort of an interesting setup for a basement push. I mean, we rarely get to see Ella as part of the competitive play anyway.
Yeah. It's tough, Whiskey. Mike having a little bit of problems there, but I think we got the gist of it is the Ella and the Mozzie combo, right? Yeah, definitely we see the Valkyrie played out a lot to use that C4. Mozzie offers a little bit of that mobile intel, which is going to make part of the difference there. Now, since Ella has got the impacts, not that they're bringing them here, but since Ella got the impacts, we have seen a serious uptick in the amount of times that Ella is brought to the table. So the potential to make those rotates has made her a more viable option, which makes it a little bit more devastating when you're trying to make that push in. Those Grismods being tough. Castle is on the board here, which we do like, right? It kind of help facilitate that extension. You see him up onto the first floor with that BP to back him up. And only one C4. Mozzie didn't bring C4. What? Kicks.
No C4 from... yeah, that is a strange one, my friend. Really surprising that that would be the one you change up. No C4? I mean,
okay.
There we go.
We did talk about it, Whiskey, as the operator that we haven't seen very much of. Zonky going to bring out the Maverick, start to put some pressure on there, and Domi going to get immediately taken off the board and the down onto the Rai. That's the spearhead gone yet again, and it just falls apart. Give it to them, flawless, as they find that in quick succession. Now puts them one away from that coveted match point scenario on the side of the defense. Outlast got to step it up, got to bring something together, got to find a way to get into sight.
Well,
that's going to be on the tertiary, Whiskey.
Any chance you can hear me now?
I can. Yep.
Well, we'll cross our fingers and see what happens. But yeah, I mean, that's 3 in a row for Friendship Team. That, you know, if there was a momentum swing there after the rehost, certainly in favor of Friendship Team. So making this look easy on that last round with another flawless coming out from this team. So Outlast, you said, is going to have to work very hard here.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Okay, so we're going to take it to the test on the Tersh. We're going to stick with that control and storage side setup, as you've heard us talk about it before, right? Kitchen has just got too much verticality that is too easy to grab, with a couple of very easy, accessible points, multiple a variety of places to make the push. So control storage seems to be that preferred site as we head on to the test in the Tersh. And to do so, we are going to hold on to that verticality, not going to bring along the castle to do so for that extension. Instead, they're going to take away that intel with the mute, try to keep those mirrors alive and active. We bring out the smoke, so double up on the shoddy play here for a little bit of that area denial, and then defend rear, right? It's just been prevalent in these last few competitive matches. It's just difficult to make that push in, get those shots that require a split-second timing if you can't see. So on the side of the attack, they're still going to stick that two-pronged approach, a little bit of split theory here as Zonky and Rai bring out double on the breach denial. And yet again, they're going to have to kind of go with a little bit of a strange way to open this up. Mute Jammer is going to prevent you from getting the bottom open. It's going to be vault only as they make their way in. We do see Hectic bringing out the Ying, and I think that's a good call, right? It caused some of that chaos, a little bit of that disruption, a little bit of that util dump when they start to make themselves ready for a plan.
Did you see that? I mean, it looked like they had the Twitch drones doing an unbelievable job there from Vipoa, taking out, opening up the mirror window, clearing out the bulletproof and the cam in warehouse. Tons of utility out of that Twitch drone here, making the Outlast push in a little bit easier.
Okay, but we remain 5-all as the first minute and 15 has ticked by as the drone's starting to suss out where the heck these defenders are at, trying to get past those mute jammers, and they're going to find one. That's going to be Vipoa to take Nick off the board, but Silence kicks. Both answer back as Dami and Vipoa get taken down. Rai to find Silent ends as they put themselves now into a 3-3 scenario, a 3-2 as Eddie's going to take Rai off the board with a well-timed headshot from the MP7, now into a 3-2 situation. No Candelas left on the board to add to that chaos. So a little bit of a tough situation. A C4 primed, prepped, and ready to send it down and send him... Oh, there it goes. Sends it, but doesn't get it right as the mirror gets taken off. They do take that hold on to Catwalk, so now alone on an island up here. or alone on an island downstairs. Wi-Fi the only one actually in sight. But there's a C4 on the board too. If they get a ping, that could be a good night. Zonky takes Eddie off the board, gives Zonky a double as he now takes kicks. And that one we were talking about, Wi-Fi, now the last alive in this 1v2. But there's only 40 seconds left. So plenty of time to get a drone on it and figure out where the heck he is. They start to open it up, give him that fish in a barrel situation. If he gets a C4, it's going to be absolutely devastating. A 1v1 with less than 30 seconds left is not ideal for anybody, but specifically not for the attacker.
Look at that hold.
Oh, man, goes for it, but they're sitting back in the corner. Whiskey, he's low and can still bring it out, and a C4 to boot, but he's going to take a peek in the wrong time, and some siege timing going to have his Wi-Fi go down.
I thought we were going to see another Friendship team win there, but Outlast coming up strong. All of that battle happening upstairs on the 2F made it work out in the end. They're able to catch one and stop the onslaught, stop the 3 in a row there for Friendship team. They're not going to get their 4th, even it up and get a little bit closer, even though that was a very dominant piece of the middle of this match. 5-4 looking still pretty good for Outlast.
Yeah, one away from tying it up. I'd feel pretty good about those numbers, especially going back onto what would probably be considered one of your stronger sites. They're going to take it to the 2F location to do it, and they are going to instead, when we talked about how important it is to hold on to those walls, instead of bringing the Bandit and the Cade again, this time it's just going to be the Mute. They're going to get the walls opened up. The crossfire is going to be set. So they're going to try to lean into the play of the Mira and the Clash instead, which, I mean, is a good adaptation if it works. If it doesn't, then it's like, well, duh, you know.
Kind of looks like they're trying to hide the location of the Clash there, right? She's laying down underneath the table. Wi-Fi has got, had the mute jammers. I don't know that they put one specifically to try and protect her, but she's not running around, walking around at all, trying to give that position away.
Yep, so they do bring, of course, that Maverick out, something that we talked about being clearly missing from some of these attacker lineups, and I like the call, right? One of the things about getting these walls opened up is getting that immediate pressure on somebody who's going to be trying to thwart you from making that breach, and Maverick is so good at that. So this time he's going to start on the back end, and they're going to try to open up, and look, there's already somebody there, and a C4 to boot, potentially to send it out and catch that kill. Nope, going to rotate back into side. Going to play from the safety of here instead, which is a good call, because you can see him walking up from the hallway. Whiskey, he almost got taken down for his troubles.
Yeah, live to fight another day, right? Put a little bit of ghost pressure on. If they heard the C4 rip, Maverick was going to be much more careful, to the tune of not even pushing in, hopping on the drone to start watching and see who's available, who's around to take him down. Looking for the flank. Nobody there from the defense, though.
Yeah, at least not yet, right? We do have one player sitting on that first floor. Mute is down there with a C4 to potentially take out whoever claims some of this 2F real estate, who, if he isn't dealt with, yeah, can definitely be a problem. And that's one of the reasons to see the Clash brought out. It's going to be a little bit of a dedication to the hold downstairs, right? Clash can take up 1 or 2 player spots depending on position, and holding them out, which would allow the Mute to get in place to get that C4 sent, and some utter devastation. Ooh, quick peek here from Fenrir. Doesn't amount to any sort of kill, but definitely puts the pressure on, right? And there it goes. Silent's going to take the POA off the board. That's your entry gone. And it does get answered back. Dami with the L85 going to take Silent off the board, and Nick is going to fall next as the body balance does sit in the hands of Outlast now. Couple of flashes onto the Clash, but not going to do much. Is there? Oh, going to find the kill, though. Push in. And now puts us into a 2v4. Outlast looking pretty good at tying this bad boy up. You know what? Let's give to them. They're going to do it.
Well, when we ended out round 8 there, flawless victory for Friendship team to cap off a 3-round in a row to really put them up in that 5-3 score line. It was looking like this was all about them. They were on a roll at that point. Outlast coming back, winning 2 in a row after going down on that flawless. Huge, my friend. right? If there's no mental chalk from this team, they are in it to win it. And we talked about, if you're just joining us, this is a rematch from the Element 4 Open qualifiers, as both of these teams fighting their way in and eventually winning. It was the Outlast team at that time, the TSG Gold squad, won in that best of 3 against the Friendship team.
Well, it's a good start towards that if we find ourselves tied up, Whiskey, right? 5-5 that they brought it up to. The next person to take a round going to put themselves on that match point scenario. And you're kind of going to see him lean, not kind of, it's going to almost be the exact same setup that you've seen before. Mozzie, Ella, that combo that you were talking about when the round got started, Eddie to help facilitate that extension, Wi-Fi to keep the walls closed, and Legion because, I mean, you just always bring Legion. That's one of the, he made the 5 golden rings of defense. He's just so prevalent and active, and with that last buff, which was quite a while ago, really just put his pick rate through the roof. So on the side of the attack, something a little bit different here. We're going to see the Glaz on the board, and the Lion and the Ying. This definitely has the makings for some sort of quick action here, Whiskey.
Yeah, it really feels like the only piece that they were missing, maybe. I mean, you've got this the Glaz, and the Mav. Yeah, I mean, really, like the only other quick operator missing, Amaru, but she's not in play here. But I love the combination of the Mav Glaz here to try and hold on, shoot down some of these bandit batteries, and maybe take him out as he walks up. The question is he going to be in a position to take them down with the C4? He was prepped and ready.
Oh,
well played.
Try and stop it. Yeah, that was just an outplayed moment for sure. And they're able to get the double open, which means with only, what, one person downstairs, means some sort of plant could definitely happen very quick. But they got to deal with the vertical, and you can see that it's set up quite well, right? There's quite a few avenues where they can put some pressure onto that main breach or put some pressure onto the spots strictly to the left on boxes before getting your plant down. So what do? Send somebody up to try to deal with that a little bit. You're going to see Lion starting to put pressure onto the first floor area. Dami going to take a little bit of damage, but there it is. The pressure gone. It did what it needed to do, and they find themselves getting the plant down, except for answered back now into a 4-3 to a 4-2 as Silent and Eddie both going to take one.
Wow.
Give Eddie a
no
double.
way.
That's the problem with going straight for the vertical, or I mean going straight into sight with the vertical on hold. Just not going to be able to do much with it, and he finds a bunch from the top end here.
Holy cow. Definitely surprising, my friend. I thought we were going to see, like you said, the quick plant happened, but even though they were distracting upstairs, getting some of the vertical in play, it almost looked like, I was going to say, did they not know that somebody was available or that nobody was around? They're just taking shots all over the map, just kind of having fun with the game. It's going to come right down to the wire. No need to get that close, my friend.
Troll City population friendship team as they find a little bit of shenanigans here before they get it. Match point, Whiskey, as this redemption match, this grudge match, this brawl for it all potentially has only one more round to get it done. And with friendship team being on the defense, it feels pretty good about their chances. Take it back up to the 2F and back to that double breach denial.
So Outlast Friendship Team, we've played the 2F site twice now in this half. Back on round 7, Friendship Team won it, and then again on 10, Outlast won it. So we've seen the back and forth, and each of these teams has had an opportunity and won it. So we know that they can. So this is a question of adaptation. Who can pull it off? Who is going to make it work better? Really, I haven't seen like a tremendous amount of heroics from either of these teams. Zonky, the only one on the Outlast side that's really sort of stood out, and then maybe Silent and Eddie on the Friendship Team side. But again, they're continuing to play very well together. What we'd expect out of the T2 caliber team. So you said it, doubling up on this breach denial, and even though Outlast played that basement, opening up that wall very well, this time, I'm just going to say, are we looking at a triple run out here from the Friendship Team? Everybody's stacking, waiting to get their utility outside.
That's amazing. Honestly, I love it. Oh, that's funny. So it is though gonna make it a little tough to put the pressure on this, right? You're gonna have to do it from downstairs, from one of the windows, or the march up the stairs, because they've got the mute jammer to stop the Flores, they've got the Wamai discs to stop any of the grenades from coming in, and the deployable to just hold the area itself. So I mean, looks a little silly, Whiskey, but it's not a bad play.
I was gonna say the rappel.
Gonna get him a kill too.
The best angle that they could have to try and hold on, but shut down. But look at this. Yeah, you said it. The magnets taking up everything. This is gonna is a very interesting take on the classic 2F hold.
I like it. I like it. Write it down, Whiskey. Write that down. We're gonna do this in ranked, and people are gonna be like, "What?" Eddie's going to find Rai off the board on this match point scenario. Vipoa finally able to stop the flow of bleeding as they do take it into a 4-3, but it's a low health scenario. This little bit of shenanigans has proved to be difficult. Now, they do make their way up as Ying and those devastating Candelas got a chance to potentially do something here off of it, but then look at this. Now they've barricaded up the rotate, which means all of the progress that they made, they're going to have to kind of do it again, and a low HP scenario for Twitch is going to make it even more difficult. 4v3 with a minute and 22.
You still have got two of the can openers available on Ying there to try and reopen that back up, and that's exactly where she's going to go. You got Eddie ready and waiting behind it, but he's going to fall back to behind the chassis. It's a small opening and requires a vault for the attacker to make the push in, so it's definitely in the favor of the defense right now, having that closed up. So it's a great adaptation and a late round changeup.
Yep, and there's Warden, special goggles and special plays. He's going to double pump on the top of river there and find two for his efforts. Eddie to take the last as Vipoa goes down, and that's going to do it for match number 3 here. That was a huge round, and they just did it almost flawlessly. I love that strat. I really, honestly think that was super funny. The deployable outside. I'm here for it.
Yeah. And it earns Silent that MVP 7-5 victory there for the friendship team. And best of one. That's the unfortunate part. We talked about it at the setup. Best of one between these two teams in a single elimination bracket. So that's it. Outlast not going to have the opportunity to continue along in this 6 invitational last chance qualifier. Friendship team, however, is making the push. They're moving along, and so are we. So we're going to pause and get ourselves set up for the next, and this time, quarterfinal game. It's getting close to the end, my friend.
That's right. Your last chance at the last chance. Sit back and relax, because when we come back, one final map. Ayo.
Let's go.